On the European level, we're in an energy transition from fossil and nuclear to renewable, from centralized production with a lot of waste of energy to decentralized production, where we produce at the right time, in the right amount and at the right place. And from wasting energy, nuclear power plants waste 70%, to rational energy use. And the citizen, he will pay for this transition, whether he chooses or not. So in fact we have the choice between being a lemon, being squeezed out, or we can choose to act ourselves to organize ourselves in renewable energy cooperatives. And so that when there is some profit made, that this profit goes back to the citizens.
We are in Denmark. We are having a consortium meeting for the REScoop.eu project, which is making an inventory of what kind of renewable energy sources REScoops are, cooperatives are. And actually we are writing in capitals the RES and in small letters the coop, but basically the cooperative aspect is really very important in the whole project. We are always talking about citizen cooperatives who invest directly into production installations or into energy savings.
One of the important things about this project is that we can all learn from each other and we can see what works well in different places. We can help each other to overcome problems, and we can maybe work towards influencing legislation to make it easier for people across Europe to start these projects.
Welcome to this place. It's the place where I work every day, almost. And it's a place where we manage district heating companies, district heating cooperatives.
Energy for All did the due diligence on the site to make sure that they were viable as a cooperative, and then we formed a cooperative with some local people, some of the landowners.
The meeting in Denmark is really interesting, we think, because this is the place of the master in RES cooperation. So Copenhagen is really the best place in the world to speak about cooperation and renewable energy.
For many, it's here coming to the future. That some of the people told me today, what we see here in Denmark already in place will be in place maybe in Spain or Italy in 20 years' time.
It's cooperative paradise.
Middelgrund offshore wind turbine farm is owned by a cooperative, and we have 8,800 shareholders. We established the wind cooperative in 1990. It was the first time ever in Denmark that we had a cooperative working on offshore wind. And we actually were the pioneers on offshore wind in a giant format. We have been running the wind farm for 12 years, and the interest rate has been in an average of 6 to 7%. And it's a fixed interest rate almost for all these years. Though, if you look at the bank account and you look at the interest rate you get in banks, this has been a very good business for citizens in Copenhagen.
There's an amazing amount of beautiful projects in Europe, but the main problem of these cooperatives is that they focus on their members. So you don't have commercials on televisions explaining how great these cooperations are, because they don't need to. They already have their members, and that's the contradiction in this project. We need to show that this is an amazing form of developing renewable energy.
Cooperatives already today are owned by more than 100 million people in Europe. It's a worldwide movement of 1 billion people. So I think we are a large majority. It's just that a lot of people are not aware of it yet.
1.2 kilometers away from wind turbines, you have housing areas, and it has been remarked by the government that we were able to construct wind turbines in a distance like 1.2 kilometers away from housing areas. If you look further to the left, you'll see the big central power plant, and it's owned by Dong Energy, or Goldman Sachs as it's called now. No, it's still 60% owned by the Danish state.
For the German people, Denmark is a really, really, really big example in becoming a clean energy country. And we have a lot of problems to install windmills, for example. So when we are hearing from Denmark that the windmills are owned by people and that they are not far from their backyard, yeah, it's a big example.
Most of people can see the link between social and environmental problems, and there is the same solution to that, to invent a new model. And REScoop, for example, are a new model.
The PV installation is, when we started, it was 160 megawatt hours a year, the PV installation.
Will the solar panels be a cooperative?
No, it's owned
The
by
association.
the housing estate. So we have small kings everywhere.
Thank you for the small thing.
So the important thing about cooperatives, I think, that really makes them important is the way they bring people together within a community. Our communities have just become very passive, very expectant users of, or consumers of electricity, of everything really, food, and they don't really get too involved in the businesses that provide them those services.
We are really looking into how do we involve citizens into their energy future.
Then it helps them to be a lot more conscious of the environment. It helps them to reduce their carbon emissions.
We believe the real transformation is when the citizens feel they have power to say something, to feel involved in this challenge.
We have to make a really, really big energy transition, and that can't be done by the old utilities. That must be done by citizens.
We are here in an energy transition, which is a social and political revolution. We are democratizing that part of the economy.
Here we know that Denmark is a big CO2 sinner altogether, but we also know that everyone can take some responsibility and change things. So many of the things we do when it has to do with the environment and the climate will engage people.
when we can put money in the energy, it gives us incomes, important incomes. And so we can inject that money in other projects. Huh? Because education, you have no profit in education. It costs money. So how can we help that sector? Huh? If we just use the money of the shareholders to do electricity, for me it's nonsense, because if we do like this, I'm just a fund of investment, not more.
Cooperative movement is always non-political, which makes them directly very political.
I sometimes say in each of us there is a little devil, it's a little capitalist sitting on one shoulder, and at the other shoulder there's at the cooperative angel talking about other things. So when there are hard times, there is an economical or social crisis, people have the natural urge to come together and work together. Well, that's this side. When there is abundance and there is wealth and you don't need the others, well, then the small capitalistic devil is getting bigger, and then your shoulder goes like this.
The members of a COOP is not a shareholder of a business. That's really a big difference. So I really appreciate the opportunity, and I don't know when, within the REScoop project, to look carefully at this side.
In English, we better use cooperative.
Yeah.
But because cooperation is close to corporation.
Yeah. You could have a cooperative that's been set up purely by the community to do good things within that community, to create a social benefit in that community, and the profits to members aren't that important. So, we're using the term co-op, but it's actually very, very broad. And you can apply the principles of cooperation to both those extremes.
The essential is, what is it? What makes you different from just a normal energy company? And I think there's a real debate necessary on that.
Cooperative, we like to share the value, and we are not going for the money.
Economic value, you mean?
The real value, the real life value. You could value everything if you want, but to give a value in money only, that's narrowing the interest you have in the real value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
To be member of a COOP is...
That's already a value, yeah? And it costs you nothing.
Yeah.
I'm working for EcoPower. I'm one of the founders of EcoPower. We were founded already in 1991. We now have 50,000 members from all over Flanders. And what is special about EcoPower, we don't only invest in production, in wind energy, solar panels, biomass, but we also are a supplier of electricity.
Yes, I'm working for SOK. SOK is a consumer cooperative, and then we have more than 2 million members, and in Finland there are 5.4 million inhabitants.
I only said 4 million.
Yeah, it means that 70% of Finnish households are our members. We have a target that 2016, at the end of 2016, 50% of our electricity is produced by our own wind turbines, and we are investing about 200 million euros for wind energy.
Since we are in a European project, and for us as REScoop.eu, we have 3 pilot projects. One is a Belgian project which started in a social housing estate.
I am Guido Nutin. I'm living in Belgium, and many years ago I was working in the coal mine. 2 years ago we started in Limburg, in the province, where the coal mines originally were, and we saw there was a lot of potential for windmills, but we also saw there was a lot of poverty in the province as well, and we want to do something about it. We want to make energy and take care of the people who couldn't make energy for himself.
I came from Croatia, from one island of Croatia. It's the biggest island of Croatia. I said that it's the biggest island, and also we have a big idea with our island. We want to make it energy independent, food independent, and also zero pollutions.
My name is Apostolos Dimopoulos. I come from Greece, from the island of Sifnos. All of us here except Alexandros also come from the island of Sifnos. Our long-term goal is to have a completely independent island from an energy point of view. It's not such a big deal because all we need is peak 6.5 megawatts. That's 6, wind turbines, 6 million euro. Do you have any? No? Okay. So that's the goal. It's very difficult. We are on a completely opposite leg than what the Danish people are. Here people trust. In Greece people don't trust. We don't trust each other. We don't trust anybody. We have good reason not to. But you probably know about that. So that's our biggest problem, because when we're talking about a cooperative, the idea is to get all the people of the island together, and we need very good PR. We have some people that are working on that.
The things that this initiative started as discussions, maybe, I don't know, I think it's a year and a half ago, of how we can make, with social engagement, really from bottom up, such an initiative as a cooperative that's going to be working mainly on investing on renewable energy on the island, and also making different kind of practices and employ ideas and give support, but also do stuff in the island.
We bring people from the pilot projects to places where they can see technologies. And Copenhagen and Bornholm are an excellent place then, because you can see the whole bunch of technologies.
Of course, comparisons came into mind between the two islands. There's no comparison. The level of thinking in Denmark, and specifically in Bornholm, that I must say I was amazed by the way they think and the way they implement ideas. Different islands, different people, different mentalities. We are in the Middle East, and Denmark is in the north of Europe, and that is the gap that divides us in mentality and everything.
Well, welcome everybody. Thank you. I'm proud to receive you here on Bornholm. It means a lot to us that you come here and would like to see what we are doing to become sustainable when it comes to renewable energy. This is transforming a society into something new. We have a lot of challenges here on the island, as I think most islands have, where we have a negative development on the number of people living here. Last year we had some 400 people leaving us net. So we must change that development. Yeah, you know exactly where you are. In the middle of the Baltics, we are situated not far from Russia.
What is total population of the island?
At the moment, 41,717.
That's quite exact.
Of all the electricity that is produced on the island, now I'm saying produced, 75% comes from renewable energy sources. 60% of that 25 is coming from wind energy. We have 35 windmills on the island.
We're producing about 244 gigawatts on Bornholm right now, and 65% of those are from wind turbines.
We are more and more becoming a test facility for different energy development projects. And that is because we know every output and we know every input.
BOFA being an abbreviation for Waste Management Bornholm. We want everyone in the young generation, everyone who's been raised on this island, to come and visit us 3 times during their youth. We give them a presentation specially geared towards their age group about the environment and about the environmental needs of our island and of our community.
We saw 10 years ago that fossil energy became increasingly expensive. We had to do something to convert our production. At that time, we were actually more or less 100% carbon fueled on Bornholm. We also saw that renewable energy was a political demand. Our politicians just made the demand, we have to do something else or in the green way. And also the story we wanted to tell about Bornholm wasn't the right one. We are a society, we are based on tourism. We have a lot of tourists coming to Bornholm and enjoying the good weather, the good climate, the nice beaches. But having a production unit down in the harbor spitting out black gas and fumes, it doesn't correspond with the story we wanted to tell eventually.
In the island of Sifnes, that we have also a guy working for the PPC, you know, it's just centralized, controlled by them, no options for anyone else, municipal level, cooperative level, no one. So one of the challenges that we're facing as a cooperative is, first of all, how to sit down on a table with PPC and coordinate some actions for the future in the idea that, okay, we entered in the game, you know, we do what you're supposed to do because we hopefully do it better and more democratic and everything. But having a transition is not only a matter of technology. Has politics inside, it has participation.
Yeah, we are owned by the municipalities. But still, our municipality made target setting in terms of energy which are quite steeper than Rest Denmark. We also see our inhabitants on Bornholm pushing a demand for a green society. This we have done because we have actually tried to take the discussion about the great green society. So our population are pushing for green technology.
It really drives me crazy when I know that we have technological options readily available now, not as pilot projects and whatever, but tomorrow, if we wanted, we could just do everything and everything would be better. But then you talk about money and you compare technologies based on the price of kilowatt hour that is being defined magically by someone, maybe like me as well. So I think that whatever you do, you need a balance. But definitely, through a cooperative is a good thing to start speaking about ethics and values as well, if we really believe in them.
I would say that the advantage of Sifnos is its size. 2,500 to 3,000 people, and we ideally, our cooperative would like to have each single family in the cooperative. That's easier, probably, to attain than having 41,000 people in a cooperative. So from that point of view, we have an advantage. We have a lot of wind capacity, and 9 months out of 12, the sun is there continuously. So we have the solar energy as well. So in relation to Bornholm, we are better from that point of view, if we can find the capital to buy everything that's needed and to set it up.
Ownership at the moment is in the hands of a few. We didn't change much over the last 300 years. We changed from feudal, from the landowners to the industry owners and to the industry barons, to now to the financial industry owners. But we now need to change it to people.
There is a risk that people are going to do things for themselves only. So you start having the possibility technically to go all by yourselves. And then we lose all solidarity in society, because then we are going to be in our own house with our own energy supply, and the neighbor, he can drop that, I don't mind. And so it's important to make people realize that working together is a very good idea, and also that it's more efficient to do things together.
We must find friendship, generosity. It's the most important thing in the life, and I hope cooperative can reintroduce those values in that society.
So I think that we will be in a situation where you come from a centralized energy sector to a decentralized sector where cooperatives will be very important. So I do think in a very good future for cooperatives.
My main motivation is what the Chinese are saying about the crisis. The word crisis in Chinese has double meaning. One is danger and the other is opportunity.
Yeah!